Welcome. Hello, everyone. Happy Dashera to all of you. First of all, thank you for joining Crypto Conversation with CoinDCX. My name is Akshay Singh. I'm the community manager at CoinDCX. And just like last week, this week we will pick up a topic first. We will talk about DeFi today, right? Quite a buzzword in the market, in the crypto market. So we'll talk about that. Then just like last week, we will get into Bitcoin and Ethereum price breakdown because, as we discussed last time, right, it gives us a fair idea of how the market is doing in general, right? And last but not the least, we'll jump into the last uh, all the interesting crypto news, or at least the major interesting crypto news that has come out in the last 1 week. We will go ahead and talk about that and discuss that. So, without wasting any further time, uh, let's jump into that. So, DeFi, right? So, you guys must have heard about like this buzzword quite a lot, or this particular word, DeFi, quite a lot. Maybe in the news articles, maybe in the videos that you are watching for cryptos, or maybe from your friends, right? So, what is DeFi, right? So, DeFi, it stands for decentralized finance, right? So, there are, I mean, decentralization is quite a popular theme in the crypto and blockchain industry. So, decentralized finance is, think of not the major yeah think of the major financial products that you interact with, right? Like, for example, a credit card, taking a loan, right? Insurance that you take, uh, fixed deposit, mutual funds investment, uh, stock market investment, and many other financial products which are out there, right? So all these financial products that you interact with, usually the way it works, you deposit some funds there, and then the bank or the institution, they give you a percentage, some interest, some fixed percentage of interest in return. However, the custody of your funds lies with that institution or that bank, right? The way decentralized finance work is, just imagine all these products, right? But it is controlled by not a single entity or an individual or an institution, right? And it is governed or run by a smart contract. A smart contract is a piece of code that can run on any popular blockchain, on any network layer blockchain, right? So what happens is, then you whatever financial product that you interact with, be it loaning money or be it borrowing money, right? It happens directly between the individuals or the parties involved. So that becomes a peer-to-peer lending or borrowing mechanism, right? So staking, lending, uh, compounding, which is compounding in the form of yield farming, or more most probably popularly it is known as farming in crypto industry. So all these products that you see or come across, they are the DeFi products or the projects, right? Now, enough of a talk. Let's jump into a couple of projects and see what all DeFi projects are out there, or how you can identify which project is a DeFi project and which one is not, right? So let's jump into that right away. Let me just quickly share my screen. All right. So again, back to the very familiar or the go-to resource, which is CoinMarketCap, right? So as you scroll down, you see, on top of the section here, you'll see a list of categories, right? Uh, DeFi, NFT, Play to Earn, then Polkadot, BSC, Solana, Avalanche, right? So you can just select one of the categories and here, and it will give you the entire list of what all projects are, under that particular umbrella or the category. So if you click on DeFi, right? Here you get the list of all the projects, or the all the projects which are working in the DeFi ecosystem, or either in the form of a protocol layer, either in the form of an application, a decentralized application wherein you can stake, exchange, swap, and do lending and borrowing of funds in a decentralized fashion, right? So Uniswap, Terra, Avalanche, Chainlink, Tezos, Phantom, Aave So there's a lot, like, right. You can see quite a lot of these projects which are out there now. Obviously, doing your own research goes without saying, but how about, say, for example, you want to interact with these DeFi, you can actually interact with these DeFi applications and protocols as such. For example, let me just quickly pick one and see which one we can go with. So, cool. So here's a one. Or let me just start from the top only. Say, for example, Avalanche, right? And you do the usual routine, the usual stuff, right? Which is going to the website, studying about the project, and getting to know about it, right? But on the project website, you may come across a way to interact with this DeFi ecosystem, or you may not, right? So what you can do is that you can look at the Avalanche ecosystem, right? Which is, say, for example, all you need to do is click on Avalanche here, right? Now here it'll show you the entire Avalanche system, wherein all the projects which are, there in the Avalanche ecosystem. So say, for example, the one that comes from the top are quite popular ones, are Benqui. We can check Pangolin, right? We go to Benqui.finance, or we go to Pangolin.exchange, right? So now here, these applications, right? So are where, it gets interesting. The DeFi protocol gets interesting, wherein, you get to explore and do quite a lot of things on these platform. And uh, the features or the activities that you can participate in differ from platform to platform, definitely. But this is where, you get multiple options to interact directly with a decentralized application, maybe through lending, borrowing, farming, and stuff like that, right? So do go wild on the DeFi thing. So see, there's pool, there's farm, there's staking, there's voting. Now, do go wild. However, before going wild, make sure to learn about it, right? So we are here just to cover things up in a very quick way, to bring more things to you from the crypto sphere, so that you look at the crypto, or you get to understand what the crypto is more than just as an investment tool, right? So do make sure to do your research. Again, just like crypto, DeFi products are volatile and do have their own risk. And as mentioned on the disclaimer, please do not take any project as a suggestion, or as a consideration, or as a reference. This is just for information and educational purpose only. Now, that being said, now let's jump into the next part, which is the part that now I look forward to, or I have started looking forward to, every week, which is the price analysis for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you guys remember, and this is what we will do, that, we will pick up any update or anything that we will add on to the chart. We will always pick it up in the next we can continue from there. So we will not start from scratch every time. We will, whatever levels or moving averages will come across and we will use, identify, we will just keep on building on top of that, right? So if those who are joining this session for the first time, who are here for the first time, please do check out the first session to understand what all settings we have used. They are pretty basic settings in terms of moving averages and the relative strength index, which is the RSI we have used. So please do check that out, and then we can you can continue. You will understand the price analysis that we will carry out in today's video. Okay, now starting with Bitcoin. So let's go back and follow the usual drill, which is we will analyze the daily chart and we will analyze the weekly chart, right? So if you guys remember last week when we spoke, when we were on this session, we identified that okay, that there is some sort of level around 30,000, 30 to 32,000 range for Bitcoin, where it is getting a fair amount of support. Then there is a level around $48,000, right? $48,000 for Bitcoin, where there was some fares. There is some, there is some sort of ceiling or a floor here. So if you can see, there was some resistance in the past at this level, then sorry, support in the past on this level, and then previously, just at the beginning of September, there was resistance available at this particular level, right? Now, since our last session, right? Since our last session, Bitcoin has fairly been in the same range, right? So it was above the threshold of 48,000, and it's quite, it's moving upward. If you'll see the trajectory, however, it's not an exponential move, or it's not a very quick move. It's moving in an upward trajectory very slowly, with corrections, taking dips and corrections on the way. So as we talked about in the last one, as long as Bitcoin stays above this range, which is 48,000, and maintains it above the moving average of 30 moving average, uh, the momentum or the trajectory looks positive, right? And nothing has changed on that. It's still the same. The Bitcoin still is in a very positive movement in a daily chart. Looking at the weekly chart as well, again, there is nothing that has changed since last week. The momentum is pretty healthy, not all of a sudden so things are happening. In terms of RSI, weekly RSI, yeah, it's moderately at a fair range, not too hot, not too cold, uh, trading above the price level. Now, there is one thing to look at here, which is there is another level which Bitcoin has, fair to say, available at this level. That's the third level, okay? Because this is the level which Bitcoin found really hard to break uh, during in the month of March, right? It was not able to close any candle above this mark of 59,700, right? Even if you'll just jump into the monthly chart for a quick second, you will find the same thing here in the monthly chart as well, that the candles didn't close above this range. The candles were closing 59,000, they were below 59,700, $800 range, right? So one key thing to pay attention to, if we break out, if Bitcoin breaks out from this level, which is 59, 60,000 level, then yes, it is fair to say then we will we can end up seeing a positive trajectory forward. Okay, so that this is a very key level to watch this week. If Bitcoin breaks the range of 59,000-60,000 dollar range, then we are due to see some positive trajectory, uh, at least for the next week going forward. If not, then we may see a little bit of pushback here, because there was a fair amount of resistance back in the month of March, right? So we may see a pushback here, which can happen next week. Uh, and not expecting anything violent or sudden, but since it's crypto and Bitcoin, anything can go sideways. Uh, the bottom line as of now looks healthy and good at around 48,800 range for Bitcoin. Okay. So that's for the BTC. Now let's come to Ethereum. So if you guys remember, if not, then let me just quickly jog you up. Uh, Last week, we identified three kind of levels on the Ethereum pair, one around 1800, a mid range around 2700, and a top range around 3900, right? And Ethereum, it was trading above the range, the mid range of 2700, and we concluded that unless there is something drastic or anything major happens in the crypto market, then we expect, or at least the chart looks in a positive trajectory, right? Looks to move forward till at least the range of $3,957, right? This range. So that stands true even till now. There is a slight gap, at least till here. Ethereum looks positive in a positive trajectory. Again, the key level to pay attention to in the next 1 week is 3,900, $4,000 range for Ethereum. If Ethereum breaks this range, this price level, then yes, similar to Bitcoin, we will end up seeing a positive trajectory forward, given the candle on a weekly chart closes above this particular range, and it is not a false breakout. Unless it is a false breakout, we will see a positive trajectory. If anything goes sideways, again, not expecting anything, any major or rash movement in Ethereum. You can take 3,400 as the as the downward target, or an extreme end, it can be $2,700, right? So that's on Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis. Both looks in a positive trajectory. If we break this key level of the upper resistance on Bitcoin and Ethereum, then yes, we are due, or we can see a really good positive trajectory going forward. Now to the next piece, which is the news, weekly news. So talked about DeFi, right? So starting with DeFi only. So one of the biggest news that came in was DeFi pushes North America to become world's second biggest crypto market, right? Now, that is a big news, because within crypto, right, there are so many categories or ecosystem. Say, for example, NFT, right? NFT is one, DeFi is one. Within DeFi, there are multiple categories as well, but DeFi protocol levels, then layer two, then there are dApps. So there are multiple categories within blockchain and cryptocurrency industry. And for out of all those categories, right, DeFi to be picked up as one single category, and it is pushing a country like North America, right, the entire continent, I believe, all right, as the world's second biggest crypto market. That's really huge. That in itself tells you what all potential this particular category has, or this market has, right? So Just to quickly go through a couple of interesting facts, North American addresses received like $750 billion in crypto between July 2020 and June 2021, or you can say 18.4% of global crypto transactions, right? So that shows that there is a quite a lot of traction or momentum, quite a strong positive momentum coming from North America, right? Then growth in terms of monthly transactions again, which grew over by 1,000%, right? Again, a very why these numbers are important is that it tells you or it shows you that the crypto, the blockchain as an ecosystem is being adopted, and not only it's just getting adopted, it is growing as well, right? So really good insights, and this the link for this article is available for you in the description below. So if you want to go through it right now as well, you can do that while we are here on this session. If you want to check it out later, you can definitely do that as well, right? So here then they have presented a really quick analysis with East Asia losing its edge, right? So till now, we have seen this time and again. Any negative news or any news of say for example any Asian country banning Bitcoin, or coming up with some regulation or strict regulation, right? So there is always a panic in the market, right? You see red candles all across the board, and all that. So that's why the decentralization part is quite important, right? And as long as the business, the industry is distributed across the globe, right? No single continent or a country will be able to impact it, right? So they are trying to show you some comparison, a good comparison between what earlier was stats look like in East Asia, right? Particularly about China, and what the stats looks now, right? And how things are shifting. Really great insights on the DeFi end, and do explore and learn about DeFi. It is going, I mean, uh, it can, offer you safe ways to earn passive incomes. For example, at CoinDCX, we offer lending and staking service, right? So you can go to our website and you can check out our lending and staking service, wherein you can lend your assets, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polkadot, USDT, USDC, right? Or you can stake your assets on your CoinDCX wallets, and you get interest. You get paid interest on that, right? So do check it out. Do understand the what may be the risk, what risk it can have, and do dwell into DeFi a bit more. The next one, which which was quite interesting to read about, is one currency to rule them all, right? Facebook's DM has global ambitions, right? So since crypto is going, every places, and some of you may have heard about this project, some of you may not. Those of you who are new, especially, you guys may have not. But yes, Facebook is working on their own crypto project by the name of DM, right? And this is a really interesting article wherein they outline what exactly is Facebook's DM project is, and what does it offer to its billions of users, right? So really, and it's an opinion. So just do read it when you're going through it. Do keep that in mind. But interestingly, Facebook is building or is working on a project which is like soon to be launched, permissionless payment system, which is based on blockchain technology. right? Uh, so they initially they proposed their coin's name, or the proposed project was named Libra. Okay, Libra was the name. It wasn't decentralized though, and neither is DM. It will work in a centralized fashion. But the point is that Facebook using blockchain technology, coming up with a project on of their own, wherein they are building a permissionless payment system, right? And Facebook having billions of users available on their platform. Just think of the adoption rate, or the impact this technology is going to make in the coming days, in the near future, right? So again, interesting uh, article outlines a lot of things, right? Talks about their technological foundation, their digital wallet, their coin, values that are driving their project. How are they planning to use it? They are planning to use it for remittance, e-commerce, cross-border payment, governance, which are like huge payment markets, right? And nonetheless, the project, once goes live, right, will push the cryptocurrency movement or the blockchain industry, to a lot of mainstream users, right? And uh, people will start at least learning about it or getting intrigued by it, right? So, really interesting article. Now, before we jump on to the next one, I really wanted you to, just you guys have a look at this screen, right? Wherein, there are a couple of things happening, and there are a couple of headlines. But what is the key takeaway, you can take from looking at this screen, right? On this screen, you're gonna see some big names like Visa, right? BlackRock, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, G7 finance ministers and bankers, and Coinbase, right? So there are like really big names you are seeing all at once in these places, in this particular screen or screenshot, right? And what it is all about? Well, everyone is talking about crypto, or in a very positive way, or at least looking at it from an adoption point of view, right? So Morgan Stanley says that Bitcoin is not a fad, crypto is not going away, right? BlackRock CEOs agrees with JP Morgan boss that yes, they do see huge role for digitized currencies. uh, G7 finance ministers and bankers are adopting guidelines for central bank digital currencies, which are CBDCs. We'll talk about it, what are CBDCs in a bit. And Visa launches NFT program to support digital artists, right? So why do these big name matters, right? Well, these names matter because these are, you can say the big players in the industry, in the traditional financial industry. Some are the leading bankers, some are the leading Wall Street firms, some are the leading finance ministries and bankers in the world, right? So a lot of positive development is happening, which uh, usually indicates a lot of positive motion going forward. However, today's from this week we are picking up G7 finance ministers and bankers adopting guidelines for central bank digital currencies. So CBDCs are a concept, or central bank digital currencies, as they called, are a concept wherein the central bank, which is, say, for example, in case of India, Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of India. They are planning, or at least experimenting, or researching, if not experimenting, at least researching, to launch or come up with their own of a digital currency of their own, right? Will it be on blockchain? uh, don't know. Will it be decentralized? Don't know, right? Will it be permissionless, borderless? Not sure, don't know, right? But the government will, as and when they'll come up with these currencies, they will definitely, uh, come up with the guidelines to use them, and regulations to interact and use them. But more or less, it'll be a very positive step in this direction, because if you'll remember, in the last week we talked about CBDCs, uh, uh, right? CBDCs and DeFi going hand in hand, right? There was an article wherein we were talking about DeFi and CBDCs going hand in hand, and working in synchronization, making this entire blockchain and crypto uh, industry, taking it to the mainstream at the same time, when it is fixing some flaws in the traditional industry, making them better, and making sure that it is working in sync with the regulations and the compliance of the traditional industry, without not disrupting them too hard, right? So this is a really great insights, wherein G7 finance ministers, they came together, and they are adopting the regulations and the guidelines around it. So as they say, CBDCs are not crypto assets. So that answers one of the question. And any digital currency issued by a central bank must support financial and monetary stability. That's the key point, guys, because if you remember again, if you look at it, they are again mentioning that CBDCs must do no harm to the stability of the current financial system, right? So a lot of thoughts are going into, and a well drafted, a very really long article. You should definitely go through it so that you can understand what CBDCs are, and where the digital currencies of how the digital currencies of future will or may look like, right? So a CBDC would complement cash, right? That's one of the feature and anchor for the payments system, right? It will have rigorous standards of privacy, transparency, and data protection, and to be resilient to various risks, right? So why this matters is CBDCs will work in the traditional financial system, okay? At the same time, there is a new financial system which is building up, which is DeFi, blockchain, and cryptocurrency, and nobody is overlooking them. And everyone is working towards regulation and compliance, and being compliant with those regulations within the blockchain industry as well, and in the crypto industry as well, right? Which uh, does can paves the path for it paves the path forward for both DeFi, blockchain, DeFi industry, crypto, and the centralized digital currencies to work together in synchronization. So any development which takes place in the CBDC ecosystem is equally as important as any development which is taking in the DeFi ecosystem, right, for the CBDC ecosystem. So think of them that as an interconnected, interlinked ecosystem. However, if you cannot envision it right now, definitely in the future you will be able to. But in that direction, it definitely matters what happens with the CBDC. Right. Last but not the least, on the CBDC end only, Ripple is helping to develop digital pound CBDC in the United Kingdom. Right. So, guys, CBDCs are going to be a big talk of the town in the coming years, right? Uh, China has already launched it, and they are already launched it in a phased manner, and they are running trials within a closed community, user community. But in a similar way, there are many governments which are either busy drafting the regulations around it, or experimenting, actually, testing out their currencies, or in the development phase for their national central bank issued or owned digital currency, right? So, interesting development happening in the UK, uh, which is one of the major financial markets in the world, right? Uh, and Ripple, which is XRP, Ripple Foundation, I'm not sure. Or it is Ripple only. Okay, so Ripple only, it is working with Digital Pound Foundation, and they collaborate together. They are working towards a UK CBDC. Ripple also had a partnership with Kingdom of Bhutan, right, and on their own CBDCs. So every government is looking into it. G7 is adopting guidelines. Countries are working, developing on these CBDCs. Sorry, quite a positive development, I would say, and quite uh, an interesting last 1 week has been for the crypto and the blockchain industry, in terms of all the news that has come out, all the price movement that has there been, right, and the overall development in the ecosystem. So I hope you guys learned something today, enjoyed the session, and we will catch you next week with a new topic. Before you go, there is a very important security tip that I would like to share with you guys. Is whenever you are in the crypto ecosystem, right, and you're sending your cryptocurrency from one wallet to another wallet, right, always make sure that you are not sending crypto to any unknown wallet address. You should know that wallet address. It belongs to your friend, family. Do not send it to any random person. And same, it goes without saying that when you are sending money from your bank account to anywhere, right, always make sure to double check the account number before you send up, so that you don't end up losing your money, right? That being said, happy Dashera, guys. Have a great weekend, and we will see you in the next one.